Your voice and tone always lull me into that peaceful place. So soothing for the mind, body, and spirit. So before I invite our speaker up to the podium, I'd like to share a little bit about her. I want to share some of my own personal experience. If you've not spent time talking to her one-on-one, you'll be amazed. I was the first to sign up for her circle today because I've had a reading with her before, maybe a year ago, and she laid out so much for me, and everything that she indicated might happen, happened. So sometimes we might say, no, that'll never happen, which is what I was doing. I thought it was so out of the ordinary that I was really amazed, but she called it. And she gave me great insights on how to navigate it. So we're truly blessed to have her here today. And thank you for sharing your gifts with us. She was ordained at Harmony Grove and has been serving the Grove as a minister for over 25 years. Reverend Uki is also an intuitive counselor and spiritual psychic. Through her gift of clairvoyance, she empowers her clients to integrate their spiritual purpose and live a fuller, more meaningful life. Having overcome life-threatening illness more than once, her mission is to teach, heal, and inspire others to heal themselves by connecting to the power of spirit within. Past life regression and soul retrieval are other specialties with which she serves her clients. With her beloved husband, Gary, Uki resides in San Diego's North County, and together they offer popular monthly meditation and angel message events. In her own words, "My life is my ministry, and nothing that ever happened to me was by mistake. I can see the hand of God in the many twists and turns that my life has taken, and I am so blessed to walk the path of service and passion as I do the work of love." Please help me welcome Reverend Uki Mac Isaac.
That was a lovely introduction. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nice to see bright, shiny faces, and I still see a few reminders of Valentine's Day and the color red. So obviously Valentine's Day is over, but we are still going to talk about and live love, aren't we? Yes. All right. So, some people think, oh, Valentine's Day, it's all about chocolate and flowers, and it's a Hallmark day. My husband always says, it's a Hallmark day. So, I think we have to show our love all year round, but there's still that special occasion. And English is a funny language. We can say, I love you, and it's from the fullness of our heart. But we can also say, I love you, puppy, now go out and play in the garden, right? Or have you ever had that when, on the phone with someone and they're sort of ready to get rid of you? And they say, okay, love you, bye. So, I think to some extent the words I love you have maybe lost a little bit the impact. And it's interesting, I'm German, as you can probably tell. And having lived here for 40 years now, I definitely have a foot in both cultures. By the way, I just became a U.S. citizen. Dual citizenship, though, which is what I really wanted. So I once tried to tell my mom, I love you. And she looked at me, huh? Because in German language, ich liebe dich is really reserved for a romantic expression of love, not for family love. But there we have another expression, and it's ich hab dich lieb. So it's hard, it's impossible to translate really, but it's the equivalent of, it's not like I like you, I hold you with love in my heart. No, it's like these sayings are hard to translate. Ich hab dich lieb. I hold you in love. So, and languages all treat love differently, and I thought maybe today we're going to look a little bit of how the Greeks thought about love. They were very analytical, and they distinguished between different forms of love. And there's a whole bunch of different distinctions, but I'm talking about the three main ones. So number one, of course, there is eros. That gives rise to the word erotic, right? So eros is that powerful force that brings two people together. There is chemistry, there's passion, there's lust. Eros is, I can't really say lust. Eros is a powerful force, and it can do wonderful things, and it can do a lot of damage too, right? Sometimes after Eros slowly fades, we might, in the past, have woken up and said, whoa, why did I do that? Why was I blinded by Eros? And as we age a little bit, speak for yourself, Eros can take on a different quality. So while the wild passion may be a bit reduced perhaps, but there is other qualities that really are important. For example, intimacy. Have you ever heard it written like into me, see? Yeah, so it really talks about being vulnerable, sharing from our heart, and that creates true heart connection. That's intimacy, yes? And there's also the value of commitment. And when you look at couples who've been married for a long, long time, you find that there is a connection that goes so much deeper than the surface level, right? So Eros has lots of different faces, but let's look at other aspects of love as the Greeks saw it. So there is philia or philos, and that is brotherly love. That could be the type of love when maybe soldiers are on the battlefield and they would do anything to protect their comrades, yeah? And maybe it's also the kind of love that in athletics people experience, where they have each other's back, yes? And that's the team spirit. So that's philos. And then there is maybe the highest ones of all, agape. You've heard that there is a famous church up in LA, right? Agape Church. And agape is unconditional love. And I think we all strive for that type of love. It's not so easy, but maybe sometimes the love that a mother has for a child is of that unconditional quality. It is to give freely, expecting nothing in return. It's an ideal, and so we may strive for that form of love. And of course we can ask, well, where does the love of God fit in there? I think agape is probably what comes closest, yes? The love of God that is a deep, unconditional surrender. And we may still have dreams and visions and goals and all of that, but when we do the footwork, but we turn the outcome over to God or Spirit or Source, whatever you call it, that is agape. And it's a state of being. By the way, love is really not a feeling. Love is a beingness. Yes?
Yes.
So when we can be love in all circumstances, and sometimes it's not so easy to be loving, right? When, as a German, there's a part of me that when I'm driving, I'm not the most patient driver, right? And sometimes I just feel sort of something rising up in me that's not love. But then, when I pass a person and I see maybe, somebody that's not fully there, I send them a little blessing. Because that instantly nullifies my irritation or my anger. And even if that person is maybe, you know, a young one who seems to be really aggressive and I can still send a blessing. All right, so those are different forms of love. And I thought I'd also briefly talk about how through our chakras we can express love. We know about the chakras, yes? Energy centers in the body, not in the physical, but in the emotional and spiritual part of the body, etheric part. And in the body, they correspond to the glands. Did you know that? So, and of course, every chakra has its own value, color. I'm not gonna lecture about chakras, but think of that. How can we express love through the first chakra at the base of the spine? That's our sense of belonging. And of course, how can we not honor the biggest mother of all, Mother Earth? Yes? So maybe we can express our love for Mama Earth by being out in nature on a glorious day like today, by blessing the food we eat and say thank you, by also, since first chakra often has to do with our sense of belonging and our tribe, so maybe by assisting others in the tribe, yes? And knowing that we are safe, we are provided for, we are loved. Second chakra, orange, right below the navel. It's so interesting to me that the values of creativity and sexuality are both expressed in second chakra, yes? So maybe we can find ways of, you know, artists create through their works of art, they express love, yes? And very often inspiration. So creative endeavors are a wonderful way, in addition to, of course, interaction with a beloved of that nature, to express it. Third chakra, power center, yellow, willpower. Well, I'm sure that we all have experienced what it's like when our will is not aligned with what we perceive as the will of God for us. That's when the ego takes over, right? I call the ego also the monkey mind. Because it's like, monkey mind. So when we align our willpower with our higher chakras, then it's a healthy expression of love, yes? Coming to the heart chakra, green. And of course, love here is not selfish love. It's giving, it's celebrating our power to feel connected to, and by the way, also self-love is really important, right? It's another aspect of love that maybe has been misunderstood for a long time. Maybe we were raised to think, oh, it's selfish to love yourself. We have to undo that, don't we? Because you know what? Without healthy self-love, it's really darn hard to love another. Isn't that true? So love yourself too. I'm in a yoga class for cancer survivors, and sometimes they just make us massage our heart like this and thank this beautiful heart of ours that has brought us through so much. Throat chakra, blue, speaking truth. Can we speak truth with love? You know, there's a saying, I hope I can get it together. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Does it need to be said by me? That's a good measuring stick to analyze whether something really does need to be said. But it's also expressing our truth, our beingness in the world, and listening. How important is listening in love, isn't it? And when we've been with someone for a long time, that's, well, short time or long time, if we don't listen, love is not sustained. So be a good listener. And we got our eyes to see the world. What a blessing that is. And to offer our gratitude and appreciation for this amazing world we live in. I know it's not always amazing. Sometimes it's a little chaotic, like right now. But you know what? When we hold love in our heart, that makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it? Then we don't have to go into confusion and chaos and anger and whatever else is out there. We can take a deep breath and align ourselves again. Third eye, that's where we are connected to our intuition, to the guides, to our inner knowingness. Let's love who's around us and know that they too benefit as we evolve in our spiritual journey. Yes? So it's really lovely that it's a two-way street. All right, and finally, crown chakra. What's the color?
Purple.
Purple, yes, of course. And that's, I think, where the love for God resides. But it's of course throughout all the chakras. And when we focus on the crown chakra, we can also express our love for the aspects of self that we were over so many lifetimes, yes? And as children, beloved children of God. So I want to read a couple of, I know I sometimes tend to talk too long as I'm trying to do my best. So here's a few beautiful quotes from Rumi. You know Rumi? He is from so long ago, you know, and his poems are just like they were written for today. So your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Think about that. What barriers? Maybe because of pain, disappointment, loss, grief. All those are sometimes creating barriers. We think that if we protect our heart, we'll be safe. Well, it's my experience that through the turns of life, keeping an open heart is so very important. Let the beauty of what you love be what you do. There are 1,000 ways to kneel and kiss the earth. Isn't that beautiful? Can you see yourself kneeling and kissing the earth and say, thank you, Mama Earth. Thank you for all your blessings. All right, and maybe one more. You know what love is? It's all kindness, generosity. This harmony prevails when you confuse lust with love, while the distance between the two is endless. Ouch. You know, sometimes we speak love, but we really express lust. And that's how we are made. You know, we have instincts for a reason and a purpose. And as we evolve in our spiritual understanding, we can also tune into the other forms of love. I think ideally in a healthy relationship, everything is included. Philia and agape and everything. And to just leave you with one of the most famous and most quoted biblical verses. Of course, this is 1 Corinthians 13. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love never fails. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not honor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Thank you for letting me share.